It took my mom a lot of planning, and after making several calls to set up this flight, last Friday, Tracy's dream came true, and she served as an honorary flight attendant side by side with my mom. And as we've learned, that is when her story was just getting off the ground.
Hi. Yeah. I'm so excited to fly with you today.
There's someone very special on this Southwest Airlines flight from Sacramento to Seattle. Honorary flight attendant Tracy Sharp, living her dream of wearing real flight attendant wings and working a real flight.
Do you like talking to people?
Yes.
After talking with CBS 13 in Sacramento Friday, this young lady's story took off and went viral. On my Facebook page alone, the story I told has more than 74,000 views and counting.
She's loving this. She's ready to be a superstar.
Standing next to Tracy on her big day was Southwest Airlines flight attendant Heath. She set up the flight after she and Tracy met a few months ago on a different flight. She's also my mom, and we connected on Monday as the duo's story continues to grow online.
It was just all about sheer joy, and you could see it in her face and my face. You can't make that stuff up. It's like I was so happy, and I could not hold back my emotion. You know, I got to be fairy godmother.
You look beautiful.
Just acknowledging people, something big, something little, just letting them know that they have value in this world.
It looks like it belongs in Middle Earth, King's Landing, or outside Camelot.
How are you doing today? We're building a sculpture. Just a kind of naturalistic sculpture out of sticks.
Do you want to go play in that fort? Yeah.
You want to hook these all together and pull back.
But artist Patrick Doherty and his volunteers are weaving willow branches together.
It's like building a canvas and then drawing on it.
To shape the walls.
Everything has to be done endlessly by hand.
Towers and windows.
It did. It's nice and round. You can tell by my round shape.
Of this fantasy come to life at the Arboretum.
Well, it's a castle, kind of a maze, something that intrigues people.
Actually, just really kind of calming just to be out weaving sticks together. I appreciate birds now more and how they build their nests.
It kind of reminds me of building tree houses when I was a kid, but also kind of like some of those fantasy movies.
You can do the pretty stuff. I'll do the stuff that gets covered up. I definitely have been able to incorporate my skills with fabric weaving and putting the sticks in places that I know will make a solid structure.
I've made 301 works. When I build something, generally I take some hints from the site.
Check out these hints from sites turned into a reality in places like Europe, Asia, and Australia. Imagination on display in Chaska, built by Minnesota's own trees.
We try to dig deep, you know, dig into our childhood when sticks were an imaginative object and try to figure out what we could imagine with them.
I used to hold on to a poem by Emily Dickinson. It's hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul. Nah, hope is a thing with hoofs.
Cindy Ballantyne and Roni are developing a new friendship.
I start out just grooming him, and then in just a little while, all the thoughts, rapid thoughts that run through your head about what to do when you get home and just melt away.
This local Army veteran tells me she spent years battling depression and non-combat PTSD. But things started to change for Ballantyne when Hope Therapy paired her up with Roni.
I saw myself through his eyes, like just a regular person, you know, just I'm enough. You know, and I haven't felt like that before.
Cindy joins other veterans with PTSD in this growing program in Middleburg.
For the veterans, I feel like they tend to reduce their anxiety if they have PTSD. They come here and it's a calm, safe environment.
There you go. Look at here.
Hope Therapy founder Becky Davenport started the ranch as an occupational therapy program for families.
You're getting all that soap out.
The nonprofit grew to help local veterans.
Here, they can work through some issues that they're having, and that connection with the horse that they have gives them confidence.
The research hasn't caught up to the practitioners just yet, so the jury's still out exactly.
UF Health trauma psychologist Dr. David Cheshire calls programs like Hope Therapy helpful, but says PTSD patients should also get traditional counseling.
As a piece of a bigger therapy picture, it really has its place as part of a therapy model, but right now we're still waiting to see exactly how effective it is.
You're starting to believe in yourself, you know, and I just felt like I took up too much space. Too much space and always self-conscious. And now it's just, this is me.
Hope.
See you later, bud.
And horse therapy.
Next week.
Helping local heroes rediscover themselves and regain their lives.
Thanks.
Cole Heath, CBS 47, Action News Jax.
Oh, it was crazy. I'd never seen this kind of flooding.
Hurricane Irma left Thomas Anderson's cabin cruiser high and dry on the shore of the Ribault River. The hurricane's strong winds and waves popped the ropes and pushed this boat from the middle of the river and propped it onto the ground in thick reeds and grass of the TK Stokes boat ramp off Lim Turner. Renamed Double Blessing from Double Trouble, this boat is more than Anderson's weekend toy.
This is my house. This is where I live at.
A home in need of saving, many found out about live on Action News Jax this morning. You can use a little help right now to get your home back out on the water.
Yeah, and you know, the good Lord will make a way.
Moments after this, Dakota Peacock and his dad Mark saw Thomas's trouble and reached out.
And all we're going to do is pick up yard trash, so this gentleman's got far more serious problems than we do.
We're trying to get just a little trench area going for the props.
Complete strangers serving as the captain of the Double Blessings. Double blessing.
Oh, I think he's got multiple blessings, but I'll go ahead and count ourselves among a few of them.
They don't know it yet, but we're going to be longtime friends.
They wanted to liberate their home country because they held on to their Norwegian heritage.
Norway's roots and a Vikings warrior spirit ran deep in Roger Magnuson's father, John.
He landed on Omaha Beach in Normandy.
Private First Class John Magnuson earned the Bronze Star in the European theater.
He did Battle of the Bulge.
Fighting with the U.S. Army's 99th Infantry Battalion separate.
So he had 5 major battles.
The stipulation to get into this was you had to be of Norwegian descent, you had to speak Norwegian, and then you had to know how to ski.
Battalion historian Tegan Godfrey tells me those skills were thrust into action in the early 40s.
They had a special purpose to jump into Norway or land into Norway to pretty much raise hell for the Germans. Sabotage missions, this and that.
So, military recruiters set their sights on Minnesota and the region's Norwegian heritage, selecting around 500 of the battalion's 1,001 men from here. Many eventually trained in their home state at Fort Snelling. Naturally, the unit carried the nickname of Vikings, complete with this patch.
It's our heritage, and the Viking ship.
Their missions were to snowshoe and ski down the mountain, literally probably shooting their weapons as they were firing.
Some Vikings fought in the Battle of the Bulge, liberated a concentration camp, while others fought to free their own in Norway. 58 gave their lives, including 5 from Minnesota.
They were willing to give it all to free their home country.
So far, 76 soldiers eventually returned to Fort Snelling, where they're buried. Minnesota's Vikings, like PFC Magnuson, who helped conquer Hitler's army.
I'm totally proud of him, and it's just amazing the stuff that he did.
Day one, we went this way.
From state to state and community to community.
South Carolina and down to Savannah.
Each line on this map shows the incredible path for local Navy veteran Tony Price to Gold Star families.
Gold Star families, of course, are the immediate family members of anybody who was killed in the Lansing.
Through social media, Price chronicled his trip and connected with 64 families nationwide last summer.
So we let them find us.
All while riding across 44 states in 58 days on his motorcycle for Price's Gold Star Ride Foundation.
And the thing that really makes us unique is we present anything that we have for families by making a personal visit, and we go on a motorcycle. And we invite anybody else on a motorcycle to come with us.
A cross-country mission for Tony's foundation that provides honorary plaques and resources such as counseling and education funds. And just an ear to hear each story.
He wanted to repay the country that gave him the freedoms that he had.
A roughly 18,000-mile trip filled with days of scorching desert heat and breakdowns like this one captured in Pennsylvania, where a man's roadside kindness turned into something more.
He says, well, my daughter was killed in Korea 3 years ago. And I said, well, that makes you a Gold Star dad. And he said, nobody ever told me that.
This is a very spontaneous thing we're doing, but I'm going to give you this.
Anything he needs, he's got one more phone call he can make. But after that presentation, I hit the start button, it started right up, and I rode out the rest of the way to Buffalo.
It's one of dozens of stories Price has connected by his goal to honor Gold Star families and the lines on the map of the country their loved ones defended.
That's where I met Joe.
That led him there.
The families themselves are not looking for any stardom or any fame or any glory. They're just looking for somebody to remember that they made a huge sacrifice.